Deus back out here this morning. I'm doing this video to maybe make a few clarifications, and there's one gent on Friendly Metal Detector Forum is asking some questions, and it'd be a lot faster for me to do this video than to sit and type, okay, on an iPad. Okay, I've got this Deus turned on here, okay. It's got a mode on it called beach sensitive, and that's the mode that it's in right now, okay. And if I toggle over here, it's got a beach mode and it's got a dive mode. Now when you're setting one of these machines up, you have custom slots, and you can put whichever program, dive, beach, or beach sensitive, you can line them up any way you want, okay. You can put them next to one another. You can put the dive program next to the beach sensitive program, which is probably what I recommend. Now the beach sensitive program, when you're out looking for the gold, that's going to be your go-to program on the wet salt sand. Now not necessarily out submerged, you know, out waist deep. Okay, you might not get away out there. It may be too unstable, but on the actual, when the tide goes out, beach sensitive is going to be your mode to run because it's the deepest on gold. Okay, but it runs at the highest frequency. Dive mode runs, out of the three, runs the lowest frequency. So it IDs the higher conductors, your dimes, your quarters, your copper pennies. It will give stronger signal on them deeper versus beach sensitive. So when you're running around with this machine on the beach in wet salt sand and you get that target and you don't get an ID in beach sensitive, and you toggle over one push of this button, either the minus or the plus, depending on where your dive mode is set. That's all it takes, and you've done got your dive mode preset. You can check that target, and then if you decide to dig it. If you don't, push your button back to over here, back to beach sensitive, and go back to hunting. Now, one special note here about dive program. Dive program, you're going to find out, can be run the hottest on this machine on a wet salt beach. When I say hot, you're going to be able to run, well, you're going to be able to run a little more sensitivity, and you're going to be able to run the reactivity lower, down to 0 or even 0.5. And it'll be, when you're running it like that and you sweep it around on that wet salt sand, all reports that I'm getting, she's quiet as a mouse. But you're not using the dive program to search with. You're just using it to check targets, to maybe ID a deeper, higher conductor, like a quarter, a dime, a copper penny. Now you're going to miss some silver coins, and you're going to miss some jewelry passing on them if you don't dig those targets. Okay, this is up to the user. I'm just telling you what this machine is capable of doing. There's no other machine on the market that can do what this machine does, okay? All your other SMF machines on the beach, they are locked for frequency. Okay, an Equinox, if you're using a Mind Lab Equinox and you get a target in the wet salt sand that does not ID, but the only other thing you can do is pinpoint it, and they'd either dig or walk on it. You don't know what's down there, okay? It could be a gold ring, it could be a quarter, it could be a dime. It could be a copper, it could be a junk target. All you have an indication of with an Equinox, or even an Excalibur, okay? Or even a Legend detector, or even a Ace Apex, because they're all locked for frequency, other than the small frequency changes done with noise cancel. This machine has 3 different modes. One runs based on the manual. Dive runs at top frequency of 14 kilohertz. Beach mode runs top frequency 24, and beach sensitive looks like runs top frequency 40. And that's why this machine, when you look at dive program over a high conductor, it behaves differently than it does with beach sensitive over that same target, and vice versa. A gold ring deeper, dive program may not even hit it. Beach sensitive will wear it out. Okay, so it's just tools on this machine that can be used because of the way they've provided the consumer with these different molds. Okay, and it's to me, if I don't even live near a beach. A lot of people may even be wondering, why are you even concerned with this or whatever? Look, I just sort of play around with these detectors. Okay, I talk to a few people. Strategy is important, and you see how these beaches are being busted. Okay, so that's how this works. It's real simple. You preset your machine up, have your programs done set. You can make some fine-tuned adjustments to them if you want to at the beginning of your hunt. You just take off and go a hunting, okay, and then toggle back and forth here between the two modes of checking. But now you run that dive program hotter on this machine and you can get away with it. What that's going to do for you is it's going to force this machine to give a ID on a deeper high conductor. So you may have a quarter laying down there, for example, at 12 inches. Now, I can't speak exactly to the exact depth, but just an example. Could have a quarter at 12 inches or 11 inches, and it's a signal on beach sensitive, and you flip to the dive program and you've got it set up with low reactivity, high sensitivity, it may flash a 90 something in the window and give a stronger signal. That's going to tell you right away that's not a gold ring. Okay, it's going to be something else besides a gold ring. So I hope this helps clarify this.